Artist Eyvind Earle, known for his innovative, dramatic, and thought-provoking nature scenes, is credited as the pioneer of magical realism. Earle developed this unique style while working at Disney Studios, where Walt Disney himself was so impressed by Earle's unconventional designs that he used Eyvind's magical talents to create the backgrounds in the beloved classic Sleeping Beauty. Let's take a journey and see how the legacy of artist Eyvind Earle all began. Eyvind Earle was born in New York on April 26, 1916, was the son of Charlotte Earle, a concert pianist, and Ferdinand Earle, an artist who studied under influential painters such as James McNeill Whistler and William Adolph Bouguereau. As a child, Earle experienced many hardships, including he and his brother contracting polio. Unfortunately, the tragic disease took the life of Earle's brother and left Earle paralyzed on the left side of his face. Feeling self-conscious about his appearance and the crooked smile that polio had left him with, Earle kept mostly to himself, often drawing and painting. This tragedy caused Earle to develop his artistic abilities and work ethic at a very young age. At just 10 years of age, Eyvind Earle's father required him to either read 50 pages of a book or paint one picture every single day. With the large shoes of his parents to fill, Earle did both. Earle's stoic dedication led him to exhibiting his first one-man show in France at the young age of 14. During the Great Depression, Earle dropped out of high school to pursue a career in art. During this time, he was hired by the United Artists Studios as an assistant sketch artist. At this point, Earle would ride his bike from anywhere between 10 and 100 miles a day looking for subjects to paint. Realizing that traveling back home every day was cutting his ability to observe new scenery, Earle decided to go on a cross-country road trip that would start in Los Angeles and end in New York. In 1937, he set off with 110 pounds of luggage on his back and only $21 in his pocket. During this 42-day journey, Earle traveled an impressive 3,200 miles and painted 42 astonishing watercolor paintings. Earle felt this bicycle journey was such a monumental turning point in his life that he named his critically acclaimed autobiography, Horizon Bound on a Bicycle. Upon his arrival in New York, Earle was booked for his first exhibit with the Charles Morgan Gallery, which was met with incredible success and completely sold out. In 1939, Earle began printing Christmas cards that he would carve out of linoleum. He and his mother would toil away every day until midnight, creating these cards to survive during the Depression. The following year, Earle teamed up with his friend Bob Monroe to create a Christmas card company called Monroe and Earle. In that same year, the Metropolitan Museum of Art purchased one of Earle's watercolor paintings for their permanent collection. By 1943, Earle was drafted into the Navy due to World War II. He did not let the war hinder his painting. In fact, it flourished as he painted over 210 portraits and created a mural during his enlistment. After his military service was completed, Earle signed a contract with the American Artist Group to create 25 Christmas cards, which would also be compiled into a book. Although Earle would not be paid for a year, he noted that the moment he signed his contract, he knew that poverty would now be behind him. In 1951, Earle's life met another turning point, this time of unimaginable magnitude, as he was hired at Disney. Walt Disney himself was so impressed by Earle's unconventional designs and solemn dedication to his work that he appointed Earle as production designer, color stylist, and background painter for what is one of Disney's greatest achievements, the production of the classic animated film, Sleeping Beauty. During the course of his Disney career, Earle revolutionized animation with his innovative color schemes and backgrounds. Earle's undeniable influence on animation is even felt to this day. Earle's iconic stylized trees were used as an inspiration for the Enchanted Forest in Disney's new hit film, Frozen 2. Included in his Disney resume are Sleeping Beauty, Lady and the Tramp, Peter Pan, and 10 other shorts. After 10 years at Disney, Earle moved on and began experimenting with an 8mm camera which he used to shoot stop motion. The first projects he created using this new camera were abstract video compositions, which would morph shape and change color to the music that was playing. By 1959, Earle began his very own animation and art motion picture company. During this time, Earle created commercials for some of the largest American companies, including Chevrolet, Chrysler, Marlboro, and Kellogg's. Starting in 1966, Earle moved away from animation and began to focus on his fine art career as a full-time painter. The style that Earle painted in is often called magical realism, as it blends highly detailed and realistic imagery with certain elements that are too magical to believe. Earle is known for his innovative nature scenes. Oftentimes, these stunning paintings and serigraphs provide a stark contrast between vibrant colored, highly detailed foregrounds and the simplicity of a dimly lit background. The results are mesmerizing pieces of art that seem to pop off the page due to their massive depth of field. 8 years later, in 1974, Earle began creating his renowned limited edition serigraphs. After 10 serigraph editions for Circle Galleries, Earle moved to New York and had 3 one-man exhibitions for Hammer Galleries, who also took over the publishing of his serigraphs. At that time, Earle printed 36 serigraphs for Hammer. Unfortunately, Earle passed away in 2000, but not without building a legacy and leaving an everlasting impression on art that will be felt by generations of future artists. To see other renowned artists as well as additional stunning works of art, go to rarecollectiblestv.com. That's rarecollectiblestv.com.